Hi, yesterday's Moose here. Today I'm going to be comparing my level, Super Backwards Compatible, with the original Super Mario Bros. Level 1-1 and Level 1-2. Super Backwards Compatible is an updated and improved version of my original Backwards Compatible level. This is a mirrored version of Super Mario Bros. Level 1-1 and Level 1-2, so it plays from right to left. Some of the improvements that I made to this level was to improve the level design, make things flow a little easier, and also make the ending of the level a bit more interesting. I'll get into more of the comparison and differences when I go into the level. First, we're going to start with the original Super Mario Bros. And go from there. Alright, here we have the famous Super Mario Bros. Level 1-1. A level which has been studied and recreated countless times. You'll note the bush placement in the background because when I made Backwards Compatible, I tried to recreate Level 1-1 as closely as possible, including the background objects. In Super Mario Maker, you can only put 10 coins in a block. This block, however, contains 12 coins, which is interesting. Kind of failing at the jumps, and one of the reasons is Super Mario Maker, the jumping physics are a lot more forgiving. This being the original Super Mario Bros., the jumping is different. Just put it that way, the physics are a lot different. Now that I've gone through this, there's the end goal post there at the very edge of the screen. I can hardly see it. I'm going to go through this level again, but this time I'll take the warp zone so that we can see the difference there. This leads to a warp zone and also some coins. As you can see, you can't go back. You're forced to go into the pipe, which leads outside. Now, there's only a coin in that block, and it of course leads to the goal. Now I'll go ahead and illustrate my version of Level 1-1. Here we have the new and improved Super Backwards Compatible. As you can see, there is the flagpole there, which I've recreated with the checkpoint flag, and also the castle, as well as the entrance to Level 1-2. If you wanted, you could play as Luigi by getting that secret block. And you can see the end of the level to the right there, but of course the arrow is pointing left, so we have to go left. You'll note the bushes in the background. I tried to recreate them as I mentioned. Put them in the right position and whatnot. There's the 1-up. So far this is pretty standard stuff. It is Level 1-1, a mirror image. After the comparison video is done, I'll go into the editor mode and show a bit of the level that way. And I'll also show the original Backwards Compatible so that viewers out there can see the difference between the newer version, this version, and the original version that was online. The original version of this level is still online, by the way, if people wanted to play it. There, I got the checkpoint flag, and pretty much the only way to die here is to hang around and let the time expire, which I'm not going to do. And there's a hidden 1-up right there if I wanted it, and then I could go ahead and enter level 1-2. Alright, this time we'll go down the pipe in Super Mario Maker and see what that looks like. This time it brings us to the sub-zone, and the difference about that pipe is that it spits us out to the left, so we're automatically walking left. And of course it brings us back to the surface where it normally would, and allows us to end the level. And there I did it. I jumped over the castle. Here we have the pipe that leads to 1-2. This is level 1-2, of course. And we'll get a mushroom and 4 coins. In my original backwards compatible, there were actually only 3 blocks here. I got that part of it wrong, which is okay. That was the whole purpose of making an updated version, an improved version. So far this is pretty straightforward. Have to, of course, get the 1-up here. Or not. I'll just watch it go by. Buy 1-up. Now I'll go down this pipe here, which brings us to this sub area. With the Super Mario Maker recreation, I had to put this back in the main area. That allowed the player to go down the pipe leading to a sub-zone. And I figured it was okay, since that was the only way to do it. Almost at the end here. Now these platforms are constantly going down. You can't really recreate that in Super Mario Maker. I tried to do it with tracks, but it didn't look so good, so I changed it with platforms that float up and down. Now I'll point it out when I'm actually playing backwards compatible, but the platforms do move differently. Now I have the option of going in here or taking the warp zone, so I'll go ahead and take the warp zone just for fun, because when I show backwards, super backwards compatible, the warp zone does come into play. Here we have level 1-2, and I went ahead and started as Small Mario. If I wanted, I could play as Luigi by getting that secret mushroom there. So far it looks like everything is falling into place. Only difference being that the superstar went to the right. If I could have made it scroll to the left, I would have. There's the 1-up. Now I can pretty much just go down this pipe right away. Again, the pipe spits out to the left, so I'm automatically running left, which I believe is an improvement. And the reason why the pipes look like that was basically a stylistic choice. Because you can't have the pipe face the top of the screen, I opted for the pipe to face the blocks and then have the other pipe overlay it like it is. That seemed like a needlessly complicated explanation. Now here we have the moving platforms, which I tried to recreate. As you can see, they float in different directions. Now I could go through the pipe here, and that would bring me to this spot, or I can take the warp zone. Now all of these pipes lead back to the beginning, like that, with one exception. Oh, I didn't make the jump there. There we go. Okay, try this again. If I go down the warp pipe, that would be normally the warp to level 4. And I drop down from the top. This is the original backwards compatible. Going to take a brief look at it in the editor mode, show the differences between this version and the newer version, and hopefully you'll see why the newer version is the better version. This is the original backwards compatible in editor mode. One thing to note right away is at the beginning of the level, you can see that there are 3 blocks and a hill which leads to a pipe. This of course does not recreate entering level 1-2. It was pretty much its own thing. This is the shortcut in the original backwards compatible. As you can see, the pipes are laid out differently, and also you can go back up this pipe here. The entrance to level 1-2 is a lot lower. You can still see the pipe in the screen there. Also, you'll note that there are definitely not enough coins in those blocks. And if I fast forward here, there's the original floaty platforms which are on tracks. Definitely doesn't create the same effect. And you cannot go into this pipe here, and you're actually forced to go into the warp zone. And this pipe doesn't work, that pipe doesn't work, only the last pipe works. This of course is super backwards compatible. As you can see, the entrance to level 1-2 I believe makes this more interesting, as well as the castle and the flagpole of course. Definitely with the addition of Luigi as an optional character to play as. The pipe in this warp shortcut area, as you can see, is now off the screen, and it spits Mario out to the left, which I believe makes more sense. Pipe there also spits Mario out to the left, so he is facing the correct direction. And again, there's the proper amount of question blocks here. And then I'll just fast forward all the way to the end. There's the moving platforms, which, as you can see, scroll in different directions. And again, all of these pipes lead back to the main area. This leads back to the main area. That leads back to the main area. This leads back to the main area. And this leads to the main area, but it also leads to the top of the flagpole. Last, of course, is this warp zone / shortcut here. As you can see, that pipe also faces left, so that Mario is facing the correct direction when he comes out of that pipe. And this does recreate the sub-zone. I wanted the player to be able to go down the pipe leading to another area. And I thought it was also funny that it led back to level 1-1, but only in the sky. And I also snuck the Yesterday's Moves logo in there just for fun. I didn't put it in all of my levels, but some of them do have it. You have to really check the map to see it anyway. Okay, that was a lot of fun comparing the original Super Mario Bros. Level 1-1 and Level 1-2 with my own level, Super Backwards Compatible, as well as the original Backwards Compatible. Personally, I think the new version, Super Backwards Compatible, is a lot better. This is the last video I'm going to be making on these levels, unless for some ridiculous reason there's some super amazing new update that Super Mario Maker puts in it that makes me want to update the old levels. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. Anyways, this has been a Yesterday's Moose production. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.